It's been a while since I've had to do an audio check. Let's see here, let's see here. Let me check something. Okay, it sounds good. I'm not too loud. And also the game isn't too loud either. So I think we should be just fine. But, yeah, if you want to see, if you want to watch past streams, if you want to see past parts of this, come look at the YouTubes. If you want to see my art or other people's art, come look at my, Blue Sky or Tumblr. Twitter is very dead. I'm not using Twitter anymore. But that's my spiel over. Let's jump right in. Where's my controller? Yep, we gotta keep going. Alright. 13th August, 10:41 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber. Yeah, because we just figured out that it was the newspaper boy. I'm so sorry, Susato. I should have told you about the toxin. Ray. Oh, Ray! She deserves so much better. She's so cute. You have a strong sense of responsibility, I know. That's why you decided to shoulder the burden alone. No, that's not it at all! I was scared of my failure coming to light, that's all. So I had hoped to retrieve the substance from the Englishwoman before anyone found out. Oh. Oh, so we're assuming... Oh. Before the trial started, do you remember what you said, Susato? That you had no doubt in your mind about my innocence, that you'd stand by me to the last. I remember. And yet I didn't deserve your trust in me. You do! You wanted to do the right thing. That's what matters. I had important details from you, Susato. I completely betrayed your faith in me. But you did it with a good purpose! Hit me, Susato! I deserve it. No, in fact, throw me to the floor. No, that's too good for me as well. Drag me through the city streets. No, you don't deserve that! I'm no better, you know. Oh. Even though in my heart I knew that you'd pulled the knife blade from Miss Brett's back. There was just a brief moment when, in my mind, I doubted you. Susato! I'm sorry. After I stood here and promised you that I'd stand by you and always be on your side, I betrayed your faith in me too. And as such, I failed you as a lawyer. No, you haven't! You're doing just fine! Oh, no. I think this situation has taught both of you a valuable lesson. Placing your unbridled faith in another is no easy task. Yes, Father. That fact has certainly struck home. Oh, Ray! Which is why I can see more clearly now. So, Ray... Yes? Can you find it in your heart to forgive me? You didn't do anything, Susato! Oh, Ray! Oh, Ray! Oh, Susato. Oh, Ray! Oh, she looks so cute. I'm sorry. I am sorry for my outburst. She is adorable. Hang on, let me just check that my noise suppression thing is working. Can I... Okay, nope. Do I not get to edit this? I guess not. I just have noise suppression. Which I hope works. Oh, Ray. Oh, Ray! Oh, I don't think I even read that line. Oopsie. I was so scared, you know, when it happened. I didn't know what was going on. The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. I know it was you who stole the poison! Well now, whatever do you mean? And then, a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back. It all happened right before my eyes. And you were the only people in that hut at the time? That's right. Just Miss Brett and myself. There was no one else. So I just don't understand how she could possibly have been stabbed like that. Someone was hiding out behind the hut, And it was probably the newspaper boy. A great mystery indeed. I still can't believe it happened. That's why I just couldn't bring myself to speak up. It will be alright. However it happened, and whatever really went on by the sea that day, I promise you that I'm going to prove everything you said was true. Spoken like a true Mikotoba. Now, I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial, don't you? We don't have much time. We must make sure that we have our facts in order. Yes! I expect the poison is going to come under close scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. The police should hopefully have identified it on the blade by now. The trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory synthesized blend of alkaloids. Those are words. Actually, no, those are words that I know of. The police won't have any way of testing for it. Oh, I see. Oh. Yes, I thought this chemical reagent is impossible to detect the toxin. Oh, chemical reagent? I sent a colleague of mine off with some earlier to deliver to police headquarters. I think perhaps you should have some as well, though, just in case. Ooh! A special indicator solution for a new poison under development by my father's team. It's created in strict secrecy and exists only in my father's laboratory. Chemical reagent has been entered into the court record. Oh, that's gonna be used in the upcoming trial very soon. What's the matter, Susato? You're suddenly very quiet. It's this newspaper article. Exclusive! Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. Yeah, how did they get word of that? I'm wondering how the information got out, given that it was a government secret. It was all the English woman's doing! What? It was when the professor and Soseki-san were being interviewed at the laboratory. That so-called English lady swanned in and without any compensation, said Professor Mikotoba. Oh, Professor, surely your guests would love to hear about your work on that substance there. Oh. It put me in a very awkward position, to be frank. But Soseki-san's curiosity had been piqued, so I had a little choice but to give him a cursory introduction. Oh. So then, Soseki-san knew about the poison, and so did the person recording the interview! Yes, and it's highly likely that the reporter who is writing up the story about us would have caught a glimpse of the toxin too. Yeah, this Menamimo-san. By the way, did the reporter join you all when you went to the beach? Oh, no, I don't remember the reporter being there. Ah, so he probably was. Indeed, shouldn't have been. I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there. Oh? A known criminal had been given permission by the authorities to bathe by the seaside. Soseki-san pointed out that inviting a reporter might be problematic, so the man was sent back to his office. Oh, he definitely stole the poison. Yet he obviously didn't go back. He secretly followed the party to the beach and took this very candid photograph. And then presumably he posted it, anonymously, to the police. Ah! Yeah. Yes, that must be what happened. Counsel! We've just heard that the new witness is now ready to testify. The trial is about to resume. Please proceed to the courtroom at once. Yep, will do. The reporter is definitely the murderer. It's time. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to press that. It's time to steel ourselves once again, then. Defense attorney Ryutaro Naruhodo. Yes! Ray has put her faith in me now and told me everything. Yeah! Hopefully she doesn't slip up and call us not Ryutaro. So I can't let her down. I have to prove that what she's telling the court is true. I have to prove what really happened that day. Oh, 13th August! 11:30 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 1! Oh, there she is! It's been a while since we've seen you! I hereby call this court to order as we reconvene to continue the trial of Rei Membami. Prosecutor Ouchi, have you summoned the new witness?
Before I address that question, Your Excellency,
I have some very important news to share. Oh? What news? Why does he look so happy about it? Oh, it's because they probably didn't detect anything because, like, they didn't use the chemical region. During the recess, with the collaboration of Professor Mikotoba's laboratory at UMA University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Mr. Zylebrett's life. Excellent. I admire your rapid handling of the matter. Oh, too kind, Your Excellency, too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions, of course. Hate this guy. I had the regent delivered to police headquarters by rickshaw, so we could get there in good time. But judging by the man's swagger, I fear we need to brace ourselves for the inevitable. And counsel, what were the results? It didn't get there, huh? This dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim, has no trace of poison anywhere along its blade. Yeah, because they didn't have the regent. What? Are you sure about that? I would stake the reputation of the police on it. Oh, well, I hope you're ready for it to plummet. Armed with the regent, the test is extremely simple. They couldn't have made a mistake. Oh, the murder weapon has been entered into the court record. Alright, give me that. Give me that. Give me that. I'm putting the chemical regent on it right now. Oh, let me read this first. No trace of poison was found on the blade. That's crazy. Hey, can we drop this on here? Ah, yes. This must be the victim's blood. Oh, dear. Blood is never a pretty sight, is it? I'm having the urge to run it under a hot tap and get it clean. Oh, God, that's a word I've never seen before. You've always been fastidious. Fastidious? Fastidious about cleanliness, haven't you? I think this is something else, Father. Can we, like, use the chemical reagent? Come on! The label appears to be written in a foreign language that I don't know. It's German, so your knowledge of English is going to be of little help here, I'm afraid. Couldn't you have just written medicine on it in Japanese? Then we'd all be able to read it. It's not medicine! German is the international language of medicine, my dear. But yes, I can certainly see the merit in labeling the bottle in Japanese. Though I'm not sure medicine would be entirely appropriate. Yeah. That's it? Can we not? Can we not? Come on. Damn, no poison detecting for me right now. Has been utterly destroyed! No! No, Ryotaro! Literally just put it on there! Now, the prosecution is ready to call the new witness. Ah, the newspaper reporter who managed to capture a photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Very well, officer. Bring in the witness. No trace of poison on the knife. But if that's really the case... How could the toxin have entered the victim's body? Because they did not have... I don't know, man. Hello there, my guy. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Raiten many... Oh, God. Raiten many memo of the Shoryu News. I'm what people like to call a giorno. What's a giorno, father? Do you know? Hello, Lumpy Milk Tea. Raiten many memo. I'm going to have trouble reading his name. Because that's a lot of syllables that my silly little stuttery mouth can't seem to quite grasp. It's simply a Oh god, speaking of which, it's simply a contraction of journalist. Writing many memos! Oh my god, is that what his name is? Oh, god damn it, Ace Attorney. If you name your kid like Accidente or something, they're going to live a very sad life in this universe. Right? Any memo. Okay. I feel that's gonna help me. That's gonna help me read it, actually. Oh god. I'm there where news breaks. Oh god, I skipped word. I'm there where the news breaks, putting pen to paper to catch those scoops so they're in print the next morning. They don't call me the hero of the Herald for nothing. The nice guy of news. You're definitely the murderer, aren't you? Oh, so, was it you who took this photo? Oh, it was you who took this photo, was it? Well, what have we here? I'm sorry? Oh, brace yourselves, people! Many memos, since there's a scoop in the offing. Female student up to foul play, defended by curiously handsome young lawyer in Supreme Court. The readers will lap this up. They'll set it above the fold at 72 point in a 5-leg format for the morning edition. Huh? Right then. Let's start with your name. Oh, it's Rirutaro Naruhodo. Next, what made you want to become a lawyer? I wanted to reform our country's legal system, I suppose. Ryutaro has suddenly become very ambitious, I see! Yes! Yeah, yes! I just borrowed Kazuma's dream for a while. By the way, my name is Taketsuchi Aoshi. That's Taketsuchi Aoshi. The so-called dark horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart. More like annoyance. No, the readers won't buy that. As you should. Witness? Yes? What this court demands to know is whether or not you were responsible for the taking of this picture. It was delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday. Yeah, I wouldn't be a journo if I didn't click when presented with a scoop like that now, would I? Sometimes stories call out to me. Sometimes I have to chase them down. But either way, you've gotta be fast! Fast legs to run with, and a fast hand to write with! It's no good if you don't note it down, I always say. That's what I call my, oh god. Many memoism. Many memoism? Ah yes, I remember your face. We met that day when you were interviewing myself in Soseki-san. Yes, right! That was me! Manimoto! Manimomo! Oh god! Manimemo again! But you were supposed to be going back to the Shoyu news office after our meeting. But the scoop is, I didn't! Because that Englishwoman's words had piqued my journalistic interest. Except it was supposed to be a government secret, so like, what the hell were you up to? Miss Brett's words? A criminal left to do as she pleases, just because she happens to be a British citizen. It's horse dung! This country's judiciary is rotten to the core! The Supreme Court's rulings aren't worth the paper they're written on. The police are just imperial pawns! Stay your tongue, young man! There are complex political issues at play! Really? Well, anyway, I quickly jotted down those words she said in my memo pad. Are you ready? I'll read it out. It's all here. Right, here goes. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coast. A serious criminal going on some junket. The people need to know about this. That's why I decided to sneak after them. To get the woman's story so I could hammer her in the press. Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? The grim scene portrayed in this photograph. Oh yes, I saw it with my very own Giorno eyes, from start to finish, through the viewfinder of my trusty camera. Oh, he's basically admitting to being the one to murder her then. Thank you, Many Momo-san. Many Memo. Thank you, Many Momo-san. You will now give a formal testimony before the court. You will state exactly what it is that you witnessed of the events surrounding Miss Brett's death. Alright, what you got, newspaper boy? The camera never lies. The beach hut was made of shoddy old reed screens, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through. The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the Englishwoman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. My smoldering Giorno spirit burst into flames! Quick as a flash, I whipped out my camera, ready to click! I pulled apart the rough weave of one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot. You are lying! I gotta vanish, might come back. Good luck testifying this menace. Yeah, this guy is a menace. Good. Have fun though. We'll see you in a bit if you do come back. This case is a blast. I don't doubt it. Alright, you fiend. What are you up to? Read screens, you say? Right. You can see them clearly enough in that great shot I snapped. The hot walls are just screens made of coarsely woven reeds. Yes, it allows the breeze to pass through and bring some relief from the summer heat. And it was a breeze for me to poke my camera through and see the whole thing hotting up. Hotting up? I've never seen that before. Ignoring that for the time being the appalling invasion of privacy involved, did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut? Oh yes, I saw it! I saw the whole thing from start to finish! And you said that you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens. Luckily for me, they were pretty shoddily woven. I pulled the reeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through the gap! Would I get away with it? Or would I be seen? It was the gamble of a lifetime! Tenacity, a purpose that's considered admirable in a journalist, I suppose. Run a risk one day, run a scoop the next. That's many memoism in a nutshell. At last, it would appear we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict. No, we aren't! No! Wonderful news, Your Excellency! Wonderful! Nevertheless, it cannot be denied that this testimony begs one very large question. What question? Exclusive news. A startling photograph. All the makings of an exceptional story for the reporter. Why then was the story never published? Oh, that's right! Yeah, why'd you never publish it, buddy? It seems clear to me that there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood. Ha! More pathetic excuses! You're a pathetic excuse! Very well then, Counsel. Proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Excellency! There's more to this reporter than meets the eye, I don't doubt it. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest. Alright! Alright, camera never lies! Yeah, hang on, let me check our court record real quick, just so I can, like, just, like, refresh myself, because it has been a while since we've done this. Okay. I'm seeing photo. There it is, right? The Pope. Yep, and then on the back side. Oh no, there's nothing on the back side. It was just the photo lens. Fountain pen. Oh, we did talk about this symbol thing. Poison article. Consulted. Illuminating photograph. There's a crack. Local regent. Murder weapon. Just talked about this. I think there should be poison on there. Okay. See through. English one was sitting on. Started arguing with her. Go pull out a knife, throwing the linguist. Except that's a lie. That is definitely a lie. I want to press that. You swear for this court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place. Ha! The precise moment? I didn't see just that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out. From start to finish. I have here a simple plan of the beach hut. Oh shit, that's something we need, kind of. Perhaps you could use it to explain to the court exactly what you witnessed. Right you are! It's all here in my many memo pad! Oh shit. When I first peered into the hut, I'm sure that the English woman was on this stool at the back of the hut here. Yes, the accused's own testimony confirmed that. She just sat at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly, is what I have noted down. It's my turn to testify now. Try not to interrupt. Then, at the next moment, as I was watching, the evil student girl entered the hut. After a while, the pair of them ended up in the middle. No, that is incorrect. She stood up and then fell over. The Englishwoman went for the student, but the girl dodged out of the way. That is not what happened! And in a flash, plunged the knife into her adversary's back as the two passed each other. What you describe as a grim crime, indeed. That is not what happened, though. This dude's just lying! Never sugarcoat the truth. That's what many memoism says. Oh, there we go. Beachhead. By the way, Many Memo-san, whilst you were watching that terrible scene unfold before your eyes through the gap in the screen, did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy rather than capture it on film? Journos have to be observers. We can't get involved. That's our raison d'etre. Except you could have prevented a murder! Also, now that I'm seeing it, your emblem is the same as the one on the pen. So I wanna do something with that. So you didn't converse with Miss Brett at all? Obviously not. An observer always remains on the outside looking in. And that's something to be proud of, is it? Your Excellency, if I may. Yes, Professor? I think that the witness's last expertly phrased statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony. Oh, Father, what are you... Oh, he noticed something that we didn't! I will grant the defense's request. Many Memo-san, you will supplement your formal testimony with the aforementioned statement. Well, nihilism is the foundation of many Memoism, but I'll gladly prove that my words are meaningless. Alright, what's this new statement then? I never once set foot in the hut nor spoke with the Englishwoman. I was only there as a... Wasn't she clutching the pen, though? She was, which means she had to have spoken with him. She had to have spoken with him because this pen belongs to him. Because the emblem is here, and not only that, but his initials are RM as well. Do I present this though? Hang on, I'm saving. Let's save real quick. I'll save here. I'm pretty sure I present this. Objection! Because that is incorrect. Why would she have the pen? Many Memo-san, until now I've had a firm belief that newspapers are in the business of uncovering and publishing the truth. You're spot on there, except that's not what you're doing! The press doesn't lie, which is why I'm proud to wear the emblem of the Sure You Know News on my arm. In a way, that's more many memoism. Sadly, though, it seems the journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth. What are you suggesting with those recriminatory words, Counsel? Many Memo-san, do you recognize this fountain pen? Ah! Yeah, you do, buddy! This pen was found at the scene of Miss Brett's death. In fact, the murdered victim was gripping it in her hand as she died. What are you? If you look at the barrel of the pen, you'll notice that its owner's initials are engraved there. RM. Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Counsel. The initials of the accused remember me, except it's also right then many memo. Is it a coincidence, I wonder? That your initials are also RM? No! Yeah, okay, shut up, buddy. Right then, many memo. RM. That's horse dung! Can't you see? One of the central tenets of many memoism is being a pencil user. Don't you have ink? Isn't that ink on your arm? Or on your hand? Are you stupid? And yet, as the court will clearly be able to see, on your right hand, there's a very obvious blue ink stain. It would appear that you must have a rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is. Horsey, horse dung! Go, Susato! Mighty Memo-san, is it not the case that before she died, you met with Giselle Brett in that beach hut?
Objection!
Yo! The pursuit theme!
Why should we listen to this absurd nonsense?
It's nothing but another excuse! Why don't you look at the evidence for like more than 2 seconds, buddy? Exactly! Shoryu News will stand behind me all the way! I deny everything! There must be as many people with the initials RM as there are stars in the night sky! Except I'm pretty sure you're the only one who has a fountain pen with the emblem on it! The defense has neither the time nor inclination to count every star in the sky. Huh? And there's no need anyway, because this pen has more to tell. Yes, there is another clue. A clue that undeniably proves who its owner really is. In that case, counsel, the defense will now show the court where this alleged clue lies. Of course, Your Excellency. It's on the end. The clue in this fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner's identity is... Come on, let me rotate it. It's right here.
Got it!
Let's go! As well as the initials, there is also an emblem on this fountain pen. An emblem that you will of course recognize, Many Memo-san. It's right there, you're wearing it! Goodness me, it's the emblem of the Shoryu News! In other words, the owner of this pen is an employee of the Shoryu News, whose initials are RM. Suddenly, the stars in the night sky don't seem so numerous, do they? Well, Many Memo-san, how do you respond? No! Yeah, eat shit, buddy! Order, explain yourself, witness! Ha! So, this is how the mighty Supreme Court works, is it? Using coercive tactics to have well-meaning citizens reveal harmless secrets. No, I have a feeling your secrets aren't so harmless, buddy. I've used nothing but honest tactics. Alright then, fine. I won't try to hide it anymore. Yes, not long before that grim tragedy unfolded, I, a Shoryu News reporter on behalf of the public, conducted an interview with the English woman. Why didn't you tell us this to begin with? An interview?
You never mentioned this before?
Yeah! What exactly was this? As I said, it was before that little evil little student girl showed her face in the hut. It couldn't have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes, that's all. It was just a brief exchange. Except that puts you on the suspect list, you buffoon! But it came to nothing, and as we many memos say, the people don't pay their dues for unworthy news. However insignificant you deem it to be, this court cannot overlook the meeting between yourself and the victim. You will testify now under oath about the precise nature of this meeting and what transpired. Got it. Yes, alright, but... one condition.
Condition?
In all good conscience, I couldn't speak out alone about this. You need to call back the earlier witness, Soseki Natsume-san! Oh, he's trying to get someone else to vouch for him. Buddy. Soseki-san? Oh yes, according to my notes here, that man has a secret of his own. Embrace yourselves. Because it's not a harmless one, it's big. Huh? Oh, he probably talked to Giselle Brett as well. Many memoism states that one man's secret is every other man's front page story. That's not being honest! Very well. I will grant the witness request in this instance. I am also going to take a sip of water. Give me 1 second. Okay. Officer, summon the early witness back to the stand. Soseki-san, hiding something? Oh, poor guy. He's involved in so many murder cases. This poor dude. I love him though, he's so funny. I asked the English woman for an interview, but she declined, so I left the hut without making a fuss. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed and the other witnesses come running. The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off to fetch help. That's when this writer man here asked the woman a very significant question. Didn't she die within a matter of minutes? But he didn't say anything about that in his testimony, which is why many memoism demands I reveal it now. Didn't she die in a matter of minutes after getting stabbed? You mean to say the victim?
The victim regained consciousness?
And
when she did, you decided to ask her a question?
That's, true. Yes. He did! And that's not all. The woman gave him a very definite answer. An answer that incriminates the accused. Poor Soseki.
This is preposterous! Why am I only hearing about this now? Why did you mention this before, you yokel hack?
It wasn't even a conversation! Yes, I did pose the withering English Rose a question. I won't deny it. But she could no longer speak. She was barely conscious even. Counsel for the defense, I expect a thorough cross-examination to be conducted here. Oh, don't you worry, I'm doing that. The court must and will know the truth. Absolutely, Your Excellency. The reporters claiming that Miss Brett implicated Ray somehow. What on earth could have happened in that hut? Ooh, the witness's secrets. Okay, I want to jump straight to the question, and then we'll go back from there. Yes, I know Many Memo. I keep wanting to say Menimoto, as in like show me Mimoto, but that's not the right character. Asked a woman a specific question. What was it? What question? What exactly did he say? Oh no, you should hear that from the horse's mouth, I think. Don't you, Mr. Writer Man? If I didn't know better, I feel like you have a grudge against this guy. Poor Soseki.
Ah! Out with it, you yokel hack! What did you say to her? What did you say to the dying English woman?
Soseki, you can do it! Well, in truth, I've been catching crabs at the water's edge and building castles in the sand, you see. Well, the seaside is a place to be at leisure, I suppose. Even for a grown man. Hey, don't fall in for that! Anyone can build sandcastles and catch crabs at any age! But then all of a sudden, from that little beach hut, a young girl's panic-stricken cries for help pierced the air! Ray! I ran up to the beach to see what was happening, to find the defendant leaning over the collapsed victim. As soon as Inspector Hosonaga saw Miss Brett on the ground, he sprinted off to get help. And then, just a moment later, I heard a faint moan. A moan from the dead Englishwoman! I nearly jumped out of my skin! But what did you ask her, Soseki-san? Yeah, what did you? I asked her, who did this to you? Oh. Don't protract this any longer! How did the woman respond? Yeah, how? She didn't! She said nothing in response! But... Oh, where? She probably pointed at something, right?
When in the stand, you will answer the questions asked of you unambiguously. Give the guy some credit. He's shaking in his pants. Now, without evasion or oh god. Reticence? Reticence. I demand that you amend your testimony. I will! I love this guy. Okay. I asked her who did this to you, but she never replied. She just lifted a trembling finger and pointed in the direction of the defendant. Hold it! Oh, what did you do? Oh, I gotta press this. Miss Brett pointed a finger at the defendant? Soseki-san, is that really true? It's not easy to stand here and say this, but when we first entered the beach hut, the Englishwoman was sprawled on the floor before us, with the student girl standing on the far side of her. When I asked, who did this to you? Huh? The Englishwoman summoned her last shot of strength to point a trembling finger at the back of the hut. Which was, it can't be denied, in the direction of the student girl who stands accused today. Behind her? No. Soseki-san, why on earth did you neglect to mention this in your original testimony? What? Fiddlesticks, I say! This is not a British court of law. You will respond in Japanese. Oh, he said that in English? That's funny. Yes, of course. The Englishwoman did point her finger towards the back of the hut, but I was trembling. And she was trembling. And everything was a blur. And thinking about it, I feel as though perhaps she was pointing in a slightly different direction. Oh, she wasn't pointing at her. She was pointing from the hut. Actually, no, not slightly. In a very different direction to where the student girl was standing. Yippee, where is attorney? Yep, where is attorney? Hello, and hope your night's been going well. To somewhere at the back of the hut, where nobody was standing at all! You mean that your memory of events and the direction in which the victim was pointing are both unclear? Yes, that's it! Unclear! I'm very, very unclear! Objection! Your Excellency! Surely this proves the matter beyond all reasonable doubt. Yes, the woman may barely have been conscious, and yes, perhaps her finger wavered slightly. But there can be no doubt that this was an attempt by the victim to confirm the identity of her assailant. Why? Because as the court can see, there was no one other than the accused in the direction the victim was pointing. And there were the reporter guy was outside of the hut. I'm going to strangle you, ouchie. It is now abundantly clear that no one besides the accused could possibly have committed this crime. They were standing I am inclined to agree. In the absence of any credible argument to the contrary, I believe we can now conclude this trial. No, we cannot! No. No! Yeah, we can't! They were standing behind! Yeah, laugh it up, you little shit. The headline's writing itself. Dashing lawyers hoped dashed. 92 point across the whole page. We'll do an extra edition. This is a serious blow, Susato. Unless we're able to identify the true culprit and substantiate our claim with evidence, the judge will give his ruling and the trial will be over. But that's impossible, Father. We don't even know how the crime was committed yet. Impossible, though the test may seem, we have no choice. We must think back over everything we've learned thus far. She's pointing outside of the hut. Somewhere in all those details, I'm confident we'll find the clue we need. Ray gave us her account of how events folded in the defendant's antechamber before the trial resumed. She told us what happened at the precise moment Miss Brett was killed. There we go. The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. And then, a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet. Before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back. Alright, how could Miss Brett have been stabbed in the back in a beach hut that was empty, but for herself and Ray? Because she was stabbed from this, like, gap right here. Oops, Yeah, she was stabbed from this, like, gap in the hut. We also have this. She has to be, like here. Because, like, it was slightly to the left of this. Alright. Somewhere amid all the information we've gathered so far, there must be an answer to that question. Of course there is! I take it then, that the defense has nothing further to add.
So, the gallant yokel student's luck finally runs out. I can't say I'm surprised.
In that case, I am ready to deliver my final verdict on this matter. No, you are not! This is a crucial turning point now. If I can't establish what really happened, it's over. Where was the real culprit hiding? And how did he or she stab the victim? I know how!
Objection! Yell, yeah!
Yeah, you're sweating in your boots now! Your Excellency, I respectfully ask you to postpone your adjudication for the time being. Oh, to what end, Counsel? The defense would like to present the court with an alternative theory. An alternative theory that can explain who the victim was actually trying to implicate with her dying gesture.
An alternative theory? Ha! None exist!
Why don't you shut up for a second? There was someone else present at the scene who could have committed this crime.
What?
And the victim, Miss Barrett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time by mustering all her remaining strength and pointing a trembling finger in the killer's direction.
This is fiction! Fantasy!
Yeah, the only fantasy you're living in is the delusions you're under right now. Very well. As you seem so sure of yourself, Counsel, I am prepared to hear your alternative theory. So, young Ryuharu Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency! You will present your latest theory to the court by means of this plan. Oh, here we go. At the moment the victim is stabbed, where exactly are you proposing the culprit was concealed? Right here, outside. Right here.
Take that!
Naruhodo-san would never give up. And I'm a Naruhodo now. The true culprit who was fatally stabbed Miss Brett was concealed in this location here. Are you mad, Counsel? You're suggesting the culprit was outside the hut. Yes, I am! Ha! Gotcha, bitch! Oh, it's a softer pursuit theme for Susato. It's a bit more elegant to it too. Oh, the strings are coming in! Order, order, order! But student lawyer Naruhodo Esquire, that makes no sense at all! Yes, it does! You've just pointed out the exact spot where I was hiding to get my scoop snap! But I didn't see any suspicious individuals loitering about. I can swear to that. That's because you were the suspicious individual, buddy.
Obviously, if the culprit had been outside the hut, there is no way that he or she could have stabbed the victim who was inside the hut. Buddy, didn't we just establish that it's really easy to peel through the layers?
Actually, Prosecutor Ochi, there is a way. Oh. And, in point of fact, the defense can provide evidence strongly suggesting that it's precisely the way Miss Brett was killed.
You're bluffing! You're bluffing, you yokel!
The defense's assertion is clearly too fantastical for the court to comprehend. You will need to give us more guidance, Counsel. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside of the hut? This one, right? The one with the gaping hole. Actually no, that's the one he took. Maybe like here, because like there's a very noticeable slit that's very intentional. I think.
Take that!
The original photographic print of the crime scene! That was the right answer then, and then we're gonna have to point it out. Yes, it's clearly visible in this print. The trace of the fatal thrust that was delivered from outside the beach hut.
Do you take us for fools? There's no hint of any such thing!
Yeah, because you're the only fool that's here! I'm not sure that everyone present would agree. Someone, at least, appears to have noticed what it is that I'm referring to. Counsel, once again I must call on you to be explicit for the court. Where on this photograph is the trace of the stabbing, which you claim took place from outside of the hut? Right there! This little, like, slit thing. Hang on, I'm just gonna use my mouse. Right here.
Take that! Look closely, just here.
Yeah. In the screen at the back of the hut, you can see the effects of a blade having been forced through the reeds. No, I can't! I can't see any such thing! Oh, you are just delusional, buddy! It's true that the hut in question had 4 walls as you'd expect. However, by parting the reeds, a knife blade could easily penetrate them. This is extraordinary! Yes. The true culprit actually stabbed the victim from outside the beach hut. Oh. And of everyone present of the scene, there was only one person who could have done that. Only one person who was directly outside the hut when Miss Brett was killed. Oh, you dug your own grave by talking about it! Right then, Many Momo-san! It could have only been you! Yeah, buddy!
Objection!
This preposterous idea leaves me only speechless. Just look at the photograph again! The victim lies almost exactly in the center of the beach hut, does she not? Like, yeah, because she stood up and fell over! Are we to assume as part of this farcical scenario that the assailant was a knife thrower?
Objection!
No, of course not. We're not? If you recall the testimony of the defendant about the events just before the victim's death, inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable. A stool? Have another look at the photograph. The slit in the reed screen is right above the stool. It aligned perfectly with the back of a person who was sitting on that stool. My word. So in fact, the victim was killed while sitting on that stool by a stab wound to her back delivered through the reed screen. Ah! Having been attacked, Miss Brett rose to her feet instinctively. But then, unable to speak, she collapsed on the floor in the middle of the hut, before the defendant, Menbami-san's appalled eyes. And that, Your Excellency, is the truth of what happened on that beach that day. Hell yeah! Alright. What do you got? By your silence, Many Memo-san. I take it that you don't deny the charge. This is absurd! Sorry, buddy. That will do. It would appear that we have a tacit admission of guilt from the witness. Accordingly, this court has successfully established the truth of this matter, which means that the defendant, Menbami-san, is innocent of the crime. Oh shit, already? Oh, thank goodness. I finally made him cave. I must say, I've never been more proud. No, this can't be! The Yaoshi clan can't! What of my growth? My growth of hope! You had no growth! You are exactly the same as you were last time! It wasn't all an apparition! I can't accept this! I won't! I see no reason for the continuance of this trial. I will therefore move to conclude proceedings by delivering my final verdict and— oh! Huh? Ha ha ha! Well, this is all very convenient. This is how the highest court in our mighty empire delivers justice, is it? Suppressing well-meaning citizens' freedom to speak and branding them as criminals. Well, you weren't speaking! But we've established that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut, through the reed screen walls. And no one but you was in place at the time to have this hand on the hilt of the blade. It's a perfectly logical deduction. So, Your argument hinges on the location of whoever stabbed the Englishwoman, does it? Well, it seems a little irrelevant now. Irrelevant? Where she was stabbed, how she was stabbed, it doesn't matter. I mean, whether she was stabbed at all makes no difference if you think about it. After all, this trial's already shown the whole thing hinges on something else. Oh, the poison, right? Except didn't we, the prosecutor was like, oh, there was no poison in there. What are you talking about? Brace yourself, little man. I'm talking about the fact that everything's changed because of the dirt you dug up. What? Enough obscurity. Explain yourself, witness. What's to explain? I'm talking about the poison, of course. The poison? Let's ask the professor for a comment on the situation, shall we? I understand that a deadly poison you were developing was stolen from your laboratory, correct? And it's been shown that this poison was administered to the victim, Miss Brett. Is that right? That is correct. The unusual construction of the victim's pupils are a sure sign that this particular poison was used. I see, I see. So, presumably that means that the victim already had the poison in her body before she was stabbed. Oh, he's trying to get out of it by saying, like, oh, I didn't kill her, she wasn't poisoned. But man, just because I stabbed her, what difference does it make? Given that her pupils were clearly constricted, it seems highly likely, yes. If she had been dead already, the poison could not have circulated in her blood. Ooh, ouchie. How refreshing to hear the argument of a metropolitan mind. Precisely! It matters not a jot who stabbed whom and those back in with whose blade. Because, quite simply, the Englishwoman's life was taken not by the knife, but by the poison! Weren't you literally just like, haha, it wasn't the poison! Okay. Objection! But that can be explained by the poison being on the blade, as I already— Objection! Ha! Forgotten already, have we, Yokel? During these very proceedings, the laboratory of the professor at your side assisted in proving that the blade of the weapon used to attack the victim had no trace of poison on it whatsoever. Can't we just test it right now? Ugh. So let me get this down. The facts, as skillfully established by the defense in the trial, turns out to be a headlight-making red herring. Is that about right? Well... Oh! Order! 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 But where does this leave us? How, in that case, did the poison enter the victim's body? There's an undeniably obvious answer to that. The lady most likely imbibed it. You mean she drank it? Have another look at the photograph here. As you can see, a bottle of carbonated water and a glass had been knocked onto the sandy floor of the beach. The poison could have been slipped into either. So somebody made Miss Brett drink it. Well, what do you know? Look at those dashing eyes. This will make a great front page shot. Hey, why the bewitching stare? After all, I'm the last person you should be looking at. It would make no sense at all that I poisoned the man, would it? I mean, it's established already. Hold it! You definitely did. Established? What are you talking about? Don't tell me you've forgotten. That's a little hard to believe, given that the person who established it was you. Me? What on earth does he mean? Yeah, what do you mean? Oh, let me capture those wide eyes. This is prime fest fodder, this is! It would seem that this trial is not destined to end yet after all. I hereby call upon the witness to give further testimony. Yeah, please do. That's great, that is. Let me get a shot of that magnificent beard, Your Excellency. Claim it to be impossible that you were the one responsible for administering the poison to the victim. You explain to the court in your testimony the basis upon which you make such a claim. I'm a journo and I'm a man. I've never tried to run or hide from anything in my life, except you're doing it right now. And I'm not about to start now, because that's many-mellowism. For a brief moment, I thought I'd illuminated the truth, but it slipped right back into obscurity again. Where is this trial going to take us? Oh boy, here we go. Witness testimony, what you got? Complete innocence. Whoops. Oh yes, I stabbed the English woman. And it's that very fact that proves I'm innocent. Because why would I bother to stab the woman if I had already poisoned her? When I had heard the student girl and that pompous English murderer arguing, it got my goat. If the courts were going to punish the wretch for what she did, someone else would have to see justice done. Huh. What does he mean by it got my goat? What does that mean? So you admit it then, that everything happened as I described. That you are the one who stabbed Miss Brett in the back through the reed screen. You can blame this miserable country of ours. Huh? A country that bows to the pressure of foreign powers and lets murderers walk free. What kind of future can a country like that have? That's why I did it. I did what our pathetic leaders didn't have the guts to do. Slap bang in the middle of that charming lady's back. I plunged the blade of sweet justice right in there. That's just, like, full admission of guilt. As someone who spends his life seeing that the truth is told, I feel really, really awful about giving false information in my testimony before. But as it turns out, there was somebody else who had it in for the victim and got to her before me. Oh, he's trying to implicate Ray again. That's right, you guessed it. That pretty little student girl. Now there's a woman after my own heart. You're implicating Ray again. She's the one who gave the poison to the Englishwoman and ended her pitiful existence. And suddenly, snap! This journo here is off the hook! The argument is sound, certainly. If the witness had administered the poison himself, he need only have waited for it to take effect. Subsequently stabbing the victim in the back would have been entirely nonsensical.
And therefore, this reporter had nothing to do with the poisoning. Yes, that's all quite logical. You weren't on board with the poison to begin with!
That's right, it is! Logical and true. I'm glad you've all seen the light. Justice at last! This guy! This is unbelievable. And after I'd made so much progress in proving his guilt, is he going to get away with it now? No, he isn't! Step up your game, Susato! Think of Kazuma-sama and Naruhodo-san. They never stopped looking for a way forward until the judge's final gavel. Very well then, counsel. Proceed with what I assume to be your final cross-examination in this trial. Go, Susato! Yes, Your Excellency! Alright, here we go. Complete innocence. I stabbed the Englishwoman, and that's moves it innocent. I stabbed the woman if I already poisoned her. When I heard the student girl and that pompous English murderer arguing, it got my goat. Of course, we're going to punish Beth for what she did someone else. The only one I can really see as possible is this one. Mostly because I don't understand what he means by it got my goat. What are you talking about? What exactly were they arguing about? What happened in that restaurant 9 months ago? That's what. The student girl was laying into the Englishwoman for killing her beloved mentor, Dr. Wilson. Yes, John H. Wilson, a professor of medicine, invited here from England by Professor Mikotoba, no less. Right, but the Englishwoman just jeered.
Her case was to be heard by the British
Council Court in Shanghai.
However, there's little doubt that she would simply have been acquitted and sent back to her homeland as a free woman.
It was eating that student girl up inside. You could see it. I really felt for her. Oh? Oh, shit! She was coming up! Hi, Ray!
I can't stand here and listen to this tripe.
Ray! Young girl, you stand accused here. You can't just blurt out whenever you feel like it. No, you can't. Sorry, but I'm in the middle of some very important testimony here. Just keep quiet and listen.
But this awful man is making all of this up!
Susato, please, you have to make them listen. Ray, I'm not Susato right now! Return to the dock at once, Membami-san. We're in the middle of a cross-examination. Oh. Your Excellency, please, I implore you. That journalist is clearly not a trustworthy witness. Exactly! He's a filthy, rotten, black-hearted, bigoted, dirty, peeping Tom! Whoa, take it easy there. Okay, please, I really think the court should hear what the defendant has to say.
Your Excellency, I see no need whatsoever to entertain the accused's remarks.
Buddy, I will grant the request of the defense. Yes, let's go! What? Your Excellency! This is likely to be the final cross-examination of these proceedings. As such, I believe it would be ill-advised to stifle the defendant's obvious concerns. So, whilst recognizing that this contravenes regular protocol, I hereby call upon the defendant to speak. Oh! Let's go, Ray!
Thank you so much, Your Excellency!
Alright, Ray, what you got?
It's nothing to do with Dr. Wilson. We were discussing the stolen poison.
Oh. Okay, I have to press this.
Hold it!
What do you mean? The stolen poison that killed the victim, you mean?
I suspected her of being the one to steal it. I mean, just think about how she killed Dr. Wilson.
That's true. Additionally, Miss Brett certainly had knowledge of the new poison. But surely it would be no easy task to steal a highly secret toxin being developed for the government. Indeed, all visitors to the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if a thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or a colleague, getting the poison out would be very difficult. That's true. I pestered Professor Mikotova until he agreed to show me the poison when I visited his laboratory. But as I left, I was searched from top to tail. Miss Brett rather bluntly revealed the existence of the toxin we've been developing, you see. And since Soseki-san expressed such an interest in it, I felt unable to refuse. Obviously, I give nothing away other than the fact that it was an extremely potent substance. I'm very ashamed of myself. It's just that I've had a singularly terrible experience with the deadly poison. I wanted to look my old enemy in the eye! Surely you can understand that! Oh, poor buddy!
To find out if my suspicions were true, I confronted Miss Brett about the poison. I told her that if there were to be an incident involving it somehow, it wouldn't be just the university. The military would be dragged into it. The whole government, even. It would be a complete disaster.
And how did Miss Brett respond to your concerns?
She just curled those beautiful lips of hers and said she didn't know the first thing about it. In English, actually.
Oh, yes. Nani Memo-san, one small question if you don't mind. I do mind! Can't you see I'm busy? Clearly you were outside the beach hut listening in whilst the defendant and Miss Brett were conversing. Presumably then, it was you who wrote this article about what you'd heard. Oh, he wrote it, yeah. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. The story was published this morning's edition of Shoryu News. The details are too accurate for it to have been written by anyone else. Sorry, don't know what you're talking about. Buddy, you do.
Yes, look at this! The entire article is almost what I said to Miss Brett, word for word.
Ugh. Oh, buddy, you have an explanation to give. Well, Many Memo-san? As a journal, and as a citizen of a free country, I don't have to reveal my sources. That's a founding principle of Many Memoism. You're just making this shit up. Father's clearly right about this. That reporter did write that article, and he based it on what he overheard from outside the hut. Oh. The reporter Many Memo-san based it on information he gleaned by eavesdropping. Oh, I have to present that somewhere, did I?
So that's what it was all about.
You were trying to cover up the fact that you were listening in. That's why you came up with this stinking story about me arguing with her. Shut up! My stories never stink! Well, this one does. Look, whatever you say, little girl, it doesn't alter the facts. Your Excellency, there's something I want to say. I wanted to go on record. Very well, you may amend your formal testimony. He's riled up. Oh, he wanted to cover his tracks, didn't he? He realized that if he poisoned her with a highly, He realized if he had poisoned her with a highly secretive poison, and then wrote about it the next day, it could be traced back to him. It's definitely this one.
Objection!
Well, I can think of one reason. What? But before I explain, I'd like you to confirm something for the court. Did you glean all the information for this newspaper article from what you overheard outside the hut? Of course he did! There can be no question of that! After all, when we were all in the laboratory together, we were all told that it was a terrible toxin! And there is one more important fact to consider. According to the witness, Menbami-san's verbal attack against the victims began as soon as she entered the hut. In other words, it would have been impossible for her to have slipped the poison into Miss Brett's drink.
Objection!
Where are you going with this, Counsel? Let me finish, why don't you? Manny Memo-san has made it quite clear that he observed every single thing that happened in the beach hut. If the defendant had somehow found an opportunity, this man would have seen it. Ugh. Which means that Miss Brett couldn't have imbibed the poison whilst the defendant was present. In fact, it must have been administered to her before Menbami-san entered the hut. Yes, very articulately put.
When I walked into the hut, I immediately started to press Miss Brett about the poison.
At which point, Manny Memo-san overheard some worrying information.
Worrying information? What worrying information?
The information which he subsequently included in his newspaper article, namely, the poison was being developed in strict secrecy and that it couldn't be readily obtained. Absolutely. In fact, that's quite an understatement. The only possible place it could come from is my lab. And furthermore, anyone afflicted by the poison would exhibit telltale signs in death.
Extreme constriction of the pupils. Yes, it's quite stark when you see it. There are other poisons that show similar symptoms, but not among new substances that are undetectable.
In other words, it would be clear that the victim's life had been ended by use of this particular poison, which would reduce the number of suspects only to a handful of people. Yeah, it would be traced back to him. Everyone in my laboratory is aware of the unique properties of the toxin we're developing. None of them would be foolish enough to attempt to use it for some nefarious deed. Menbami-san being no exception. Therefore, we can conclude that whoever administered this unique poison to the victim was a layperson unaware of its telltale properties. Ugh. What do you have to say to that? In other words, someone like you, right, and many Memo. Yeah, eat shit! Eat your hat, maybe! It was you who stole the poison from the laboratory that day. And it was you who administered it to the unwitting victim. But you quickly realized that it was a terrible mistake.
Because the poison caused such unusual symptoms and was so traceable.
Yeah, that's what you did. As you listened in from the far side of the beach hut's thin walls, you learnt of these facts. But you'd already given the victim the poison at that point. It was too late. So you hatched a plan to disguise your mistake. A plan that involved stabbing the victim in the back through the reed screen.
Objection!
But what good could that possibly do to disguise it? Because they can't trace it. Isn't it obvious, Counsel? The plan was to kill Miss Brett before the poison could take effect. Yeah, but you couldn't do that. Once in the blood, the poison causes the onset of pupil constriction. But he had hoped to precipitate the victim's death before that happened, hadn't he? Exactly. Because without any revealing signs of the new secret poison's use, no one would have ever suspected. This is extraordinary! Yes, the effects of the poison meant it would be too easily identified, so the killer had to mask its use. Which he attempted to do by plunging a knife into the middle of the victim's back. Yeah, eat shit, buddy! Take that! Order? Order! Order! The argument presented is sound. The court is satisfied that it warrants consideration. Does the prosecution have a counter-argument it wishes to put forward? You better not, buddy. Oh, there are a number of... yes! I counter completely! Yeah, then give us evidence! The prosecution's evasive response clearly shows that in much the same way that he nurtures the remnants of his top knot, he's clinging to lost hope. Oh! Dig into him, Susato! I need to take a sip of water! Okay, water has been ingested. Lost hope! Oh, hold it. I bet you have more to say, don't you, buddy? Gone with the hat completely. Oh, you pathetic, useless, fallen samurai! Fallen? Who are you calling fallen? Oh, I don't need a counter-argument. What are you talking about? It should be blatantly obvious. I stole the poison, you say. Gave it to the victim, you say. Stabbed her, you say. Lots of fine theories. But I don't need a counter-argument because you don't have an argument yourself. Where's your evidence? Oh, let me check real quick. He probably hid it in his pen, didn't he? Probably hid it in here. Yep. Let's go to the barrel. Probably hidden here. Reservoir. Something wrong, Father? Yeah, that's all. Oh yes, you're right. It's pretty much empty. Well, yeah. Am I allowed to like unscrew it more? Definitely hiding something in here. Yes, you make it all sound so plausible, don't you? But without evidence, it means nothing. Whereas I base my news on facts! Facts? What do you mean? Explain yourself! I mean, what the professor said earlier in this trial. It's all here, in my many memos! Every word, every slip of the tongue, all noted! That's what the Shoryu News is famous for! It's the power of the printed word! Earlier, be no easy task to heal from a highly secret toxin being developed by the government. Indeed, all visitors to the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. He hid it because he hid it in his pen! That's why it's empty! How's that then? Long story wide open? See, I write the many memo. I'm a reporter from the Shoryu News. Couldn't possibly have stolen that poison from the professor's laboratory. No, Ryotaro! You gotta examine the pen! It's empty! That's where the poison was! But there can't be any question of it. He must have stolen the poison that day. He stole it and used it to kill. And if that's the case, as if identified, the poison itself is the definitive evidence we need. Because whoever stole it from the laboratory that day is the true culprit here. What's your point, you annoyingly handsome country bumpkin? My point is this. There is one way that you, Many Memo-san, could have stolen the poison that day. Oh? I've heard enough verbal conjecture now, thank you. What the court must be shown is evidence. What proof do you have that this witness stole the poison that day in question? Can I like... Is this at the... do we have to like examine this really quickly? Let's go to the barrel. It's obviously out of the ordinary here, does it? Nope, I meant to examine here. Revizor. Something wrong, Father. So there doesn't actually appear to be any ink inside there, that's all. You're right, it's pretty much empty. Do I just, is that it? Because I can't really do anything else besides that. I do think this weird, like, double nib thing is... Actually, no, that could probably just be part of a fountain pen. Up through the nib. Could you do the opposite by... Sorry, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Oops. Okay, do I just submit this then? Because there's no actual ink in here. How do I guess.
Take that!
It'd have to be from here. The proof, Your Excellency, is this fountain pen. Ah! Yeah, there we go. Okay, he did hide it in here. A fountain pen? How could that possibly be relevant? These magical pens somehow seem to have enough ink to write many thousands of kanji characters. I believe they arrived in our country for the first time some 15 years ago now. Ah! I swear by a weasel's hair calligraphy brush and nothing else. These newfangled pens are merely a fad. Well, as a forward-thinking man of words, obviously, I love my fountain pen. Succubus soupçon of sumptuous ink, and one's work is awash with words in a blink of an eye. That's right. Fountain pens have a small reservoir in the barrel, into which ink is sucked up through the nib of the pen in order to write with later. What does all this talking of sucking up ink have? Oh, you sucked up the poison with it, huh? And just as it's possible to suck up ink into the reservoir, it's also possible to eject it through the nib again, of course. My word, can this really be? Well, many memo-san? When you saw the deadly poison before your eyes in the laboratory that day, you used your fountain pen, your very lifeblood, to steal some of it, didn't you? By siphoning the poison up through the nib and into the pen's reservoir. Yeah, you used the whole thing on her, goddamn!
Objection!
More absurdity! That never happened! True, we've heard that there were procedures in place to prevent thefts like this from the laboratory. But would anyone would have thought to look inside a fountain pen of all places? No. I'm a little ashamed to say that for fear of offending our guests, such a detailed search would not have been conducted. Well, this is quite startling, I must say. I remind the court that this pen was found in the clutches of the victim when she died. In other words, it was dropped at the scene by Many Memo-san. Yeah, eat shit, buddy! So the crucial question is, when exactly was the pen dropped? Are you suggesting... The natural conclusion is that, in your haste to act while the victim was distracted for a moment, you dropped the pen after you emptied the poison from it into her glass.
Objection!
There could be any number of alternative explanations. For example, the witness could have been using his pen to write down details of his conversation with the victim. And when shocked by one of her outrageous answers, the pen fell from his quivering hand. Do you have any proof of this?
Objection!
No, that can't be. If it was, how do you explain why the pen was devoid of ink? What? As you can see for yourself if you examine the evidence, there would appear to be no ink present in the reservoir. What newspaper reporter goes to interview someone with nothing in his pen? No, the pen was dropped after the poison that filled its reservoir had been emptied into the victim's glass. Witness, what do you have to say in your defense? He's gonna say that he just ran out of ink. Wah! Ha ha ha! So this is how our modern justice system works, is it? So what if the ink in my pen runs dry? So what if my pencil snaps? I can always claw my way back into the game. I have plenty in reserve. Ah! Oh, did he toss that at the judge? You claim I sucked the poison up into my pen? That's wild speculation, nothing more. Well, we have something to prove it with. If you thought you could bring down a fine upstanding citizen with a trick like that, think again. It looks as though it's going to take one final decisive blow to finish this matter. As I see it, the situation is now very simple. It rests upon whether or not this witness did indeed steal the poison in the question that day. Oh, that day in question. And therefore, it all depends upon whether or not the defense can prove that he did with evidence. Ha! No such evidence could possibly exist, but it does! We have the chemical reagent to prove it.
Objection!
Many Memo-san, this is how our modern justice system works. What? In the courtroom, evidence is everything. Something you would do well to remember. Because we are well past the point of speculation at this stage, I assure you. Come on, Susanoo! Very well then. I call upon the defense to present the aforementioned evidence. Oh, this is it, then. This will be the final piece in the puzzle. The defense can prove by means of this item that it was the witness's pen that was used to steal the poison. The chemical reagent which we were given!
Take that!
Counsel, what is that bottle? This bottle contains the unique chemical reagent that can identify the poison in question. Huh. Yes, that poison is an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids developed by my colleagues and I. It would be impossible to detect traces of it by any other method. Or, from another perspective, simply with this chemical reagent, anybody at all could check for traces of the poison. A reagent? What? One drop of the contents of this bottle on the tip of your fountain pen, Many Memo-san, is all it will take to solve this case beyond all reasonable doubt. No, you can't! I won't! Are you trying to...
Your crimes are bad enough, but at least know when to admit defeat.
Your Excellency, the defense requests permission to carry out the test on the fountain pen at once. Yeah, you can't do anything to stop it, buddy. I'm sorry. Oh, what is he doing? This isn't my fault! The Empire drove me to this! Trying to hold his head as high as a civilian nation. Oh, I took a part in the form of the mighty pen and fought tirelessly on the battlefield! You're the way to the
Susato, with me.
I'm there! Oh, there he goes! Look at them!
Did I do it right? That was the Susato takedown, wasn't it?
Not quite. That was a Ryutaro takedown. Let's go! Look at them! The instant the first drop of the reagent touched the nib of the fountain pen, it was clear to everyone present. Show it? Oh, okay, they don't. When I saw it there in the lab, the poison, the devil got hold of me, and I decided to do it on a whim. I excused myself and emptied all the ink down the sink in the bathroom, washing the reservoir out carefully. And then you waited for an opportunity to suck some of the poison, didn't you? Into your fountain pen. Yes, that's right. Answer me one thing, Many Memo-san. Why did you steal it? For what purpose? Isn't it obvious? To find out what it was made of and expose it in an article. I mean, it was a secret project after all. Too juicy for a journal like me to pass up.
Then, why did the English woman end up dead?
Well, because we poisoned her. What else? I went into the hut intending to quiz her on their situation, that's all. As a reporter. A known killer, enjoying full freedom. Evading justice by leaving the country. I told her what I thought about it. And she just laughed in my face! Yeah, I don't doubt it. Oh, what's this? A Far Eastern caveman. Purporting to practice journalism. Really, you must learn the difference between reporting and listening at doorways. You ignorant plebeian. Yeah, she was riling him up. What did you call me? This country, with its pretensions to a justice system, to a free press, it's really very depressing. You see our superior ways in the West, yet you lack the mental capacity to emulate them. Get out of here, you oaf. Get out and crawl back into the cave you came from. Yikes! Yikes! That's when I remembered about the deadly poison I happened to have in my pen at the time. What a terrible tale. In my head, I knew I should just get out of there as quickly as possible, but I couldn't. I couldn't let her get away with what she'd done, when she clearly had no remorse at all. I suppose it was my journal spirit, getting all fired up. Oh. Excuse me. I'd like to ask you something. Yes? You often talk about justice. But surely as a journalist you could have used other means to deliver the justice you sought. There's no justice in the press. Huh? Sorry? After that trial 9 months ago, I kept digging and digging to find out what happened in that courtroom. And finally, I discovered the truth. It was a cover-up! That's what it was! A cover-up? A cover-up? What do you mean? I will remind you of your position, witness. Be careful of what you say. Oh, come on! Doesn't it strike you as strange? We're suddenly not allowed to convict a foreign national? Consular jurisdiction should have never come into it. And yet that puffed-up Englishwoman was going to sail away into the sunset a free woman. The only possible explanation is that behind the scenes, some deal had gone down between Britain and Japan. Well, I mean, first game ended up on not a positive note. What sort of deal? I'd done all my research, dug up all the dirt. It was all ready to be published. But you know what happened? The editor just tore the article up. He came under pressure from the government, you mean? If our government is going to let criminals walk free, if they're going to crush the free press, then what choice do I have but to see that justice is done by myself? Let's not forget, Memo-san, that you committed murder yourself, and you tried to lay the blame at the defendant's door. I'm sorry, but you're no better than Josiah Brett. Well, yeah, you tried to kill someone. You killed someone and then tried to frame someone innocent for it. The truth is, you have no right to talk about justice at all! I suppose. Yeah. It would appear that we have reached a conclusion in this trial at last. Counsel for the defense. Ryutaru Naruhodo. Oh! Ah, yes! Sorry, Your Excellency. Just musing in a manly way here. It's almost unbelievable that this is your first experience of the Supreme Court. It was an excellent performance. Why, thank you! In truth, it very much reminded me of your cousin's exploits. Oh! Naruhodo, Ryunosuke, you mean? The way he handled the trial 9 months ago, and the way you handled this one. It gives me hope that we are genuinely entering a new era of justice in this land. Hell yeah! That's very flattering, Your Excellency. Hearing the defense you put forward today made me almost keenly that the future of our justice system will be forged by you and your contemporaries. Thank you. So, Prosecutor Ouchi, do you have any final thoughts? Huh? What is he? Oh, what is he doing? Not in the courtroom? Professor Ouchi? I, Taketsuchi of the Ouchi clan, have been bested by a callow youth not once now, but twice. If there was any shred of my former self left, it has withered away and died here today. Gosh, your journey to cultural enlightenment sure took a while, didn't it? Silence! Rather than living on in shame, I will end it all now with this blade. For that is the true path to Ouchism! Ouchi, Ism? One hopes that it's the only way in which he'll be modeling himself after the witnesses. Huh?
Speak of my top knot. The time is right for farewell. Hope is lost forever. Taketsuchi!
Oh, poor guy. He doesn't want to cut it off. Oh, poor guy. It's so dramatic. Well, hopefully he's learned his lesson now. Oh, she's praying for it. Aww. Oh, Natsume too. This is so somber. they're all Now, in regard to the defendant, Rei Menbami-san. Yes, Your Excellency. I have reached my final verdict. I hereby find you not guilty! Let's go! We did it! Woohoo! Yippee! Hooray! Court is adjourned. Adjourned. Oops. August 22. Wait, oh god. 2:38 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendants antechamber. It's over. My heart is still pounding in my chest, though. It's all I can do just to stay standing. Oh, Ryunosuke, it's been a while. Lawyers have such great responsibility, such a great burden to bear. Don't they, Naruhodo-san? She's speaking as if he's dead. He's not the dead one. Oh, Susato! Susato!
Thank you. Thank you so much. You were so dashing in there.
She slipped up twice in that there. Rei and father.
Honestly, I'm touched by everything you've... Oh no. I think I'm going to cry.
Oh, you deserve to, buddy. Go for it. It wasn't easy, but together we made it. I was on the verge of tears at the end, too.
The only reason I'm still here is because of you. Oh, Rei!
Oh no, I can't take all the credit. It took courage to tell the truth in there. You did wonderfully, Rei. So I would have to say that the congratulation belongs to you.
Susato, don't be so standoffish.
Sorry?
We're friends, equals,
And the trial is over, so no more of this formal superhumanities nonsense. It's time to celebrate with swagger.
to throw caution to the wind.
Caution to the... what?
I'm the great defense lawyer, Ryotaro Naruhodo, and I'm taking you out on a milk bar tomorrow. Or something.
Right, I see. I'll, think about it, Rei.
Oh. At any rate, we really knocked the wind out of that horrid man, and it felt so good.
Yes, it was satisfying.
It really was. Isn't there anybody else we could throw together?
I hope you're not looking at me, Rei.
Oh, my goodness! Oh, no, of course not! Of course not!
There it is at last. Rei's lovely smile. Oh, it is lovely! You fought for your friend to the very last. As your father, I'm extremely proud of you, defense attorney Ryutaro Naruhodo. Thank you, but I couldn't have done it without your help. Anyway, it's time to bid farewell to Ryutaro, I think. I shall miss him in a way, but it's back to Susato Mikotoba for now.
So, I'll never see him again then. What a terrible shame.
What? Oh, they heard. What is happening? Soseki-san and Inspector Hosonaga. I do hope you've been keeping well. Is that really you? Oh, they heard. Yes, I had to change my appearance for, well, obvious reasons, I hope. But it's me, Susato Mikotoba. I don't... So dashing! So divine! Oh, they're dying! No! Doubly dashing! Yes, and devilishly divine! Just look at you! I had no idea, Mr. Zato Esquires, that you were a locum student Naruhodo-san's esquire cousin! No, she is not! Astonishingly, astoundingly, ace attorney! Oh hey, there it is! I love Soseki. Poor Soseki-san. So confused. Oh, no, Soseki! I still remember the first time I ever met him. He was in a prison cell in London. What an extraordinary conundrum it was that this unwitting student from Japan had found himself embroiled in. But after Naruhodo-san's skillful defense of the Old Bailey, Soseki-san was free to return to Japan. And now he seems to have earned himself great fame as an author. I'm stunned! That's a truly impressive disguise. Even I had no idea, and I'm a chief inspector at the police bureau. Who came up with Mr. Turtle known us? Well, I mean, it's because you look exactly the same. I'm not sure you should be admitting to that, Inspector. Amazing. You're a woman of many faces, I see. Oh, Hosonaga! Just two, really. And this is a once-in-a-lifetime event. I hope. Oh, I'm not a patch on you, though, Inspector. Well, I am a professional, of course. This guy! I do worry about Inspector Hosonaga sometimes. I really do. 9 months ago, when he appeared here at the Supreme Court to testify, he was an undercover disguised as a head waiter of a restaurant. And then on the steamship to Great Britain, of course, disguised as a sailor to keep us safe on the journey. Oh, well, that didn't help you, did it, Kazuma-sama? Oh, Kazuma! From my perspective, I have to admit that I have mixed feelings about all this. I mean, now the truth has been lost forever. The truth? What do you mean? I'm talking about the murder that the Englishwoman committed at the end of last year. Oh. Ah, yes. It was an English doctor she killed, as I understand it. Dr. John H. Wilson, yes. The man I invited to Japan personally. The mystery is, why did she kill him? And now that the culprit herself is dead, we'll probably never know the answer. No more motive. On the voyage to Great Britain, we had a most unexpected encounter with Mr. Herlock Sholmes. The great detective, I mean. Yes, I remember Mr. Sholmes well, of course. Ah, my arch-nemesis! How lightly you utter his name! Well, according to the stories published about him in the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, the detective once had a partner who helped him solve crimes, a best friend. And that man was an exceptional doctor of medicine by the name of John H. Wilson. What? Dr. Wilson? I just can't believe that it's a coincidence. I think that the English doctor of medicine killed here in Japan 9 months ago must have been the friend and partner of Mr. Sholmes. Oh, do you know something? And if that's really true... Oh, Iris! And the poor girl won't ever see her beloved father again. Oh, yeah, Iris! As you know, I traveled to Great Britain once myself to study. It was around the time you were born. Yes, grandmother told me about it. On returning to Japan, I took up my professorship at Imperial Yume University. But I also serve another role, as an advisor to the government on diplomatic affairs! Yes, I was aware of that as well. You were? In that case, I'm sure you understand that there are some confidential matters I cannot divulge to you. Oh, this is a hidden matter. Could you just tell me one thing? Why did you summon me back to Japan? Oh, yeah, because she was summoned back because her father was... That was the excuse she gave, that her father was ill, but... It's been 2 months now since I returned. When I left England, it was because an urgent telegram had arrived from Japan. It said that you'd collapsed with a high fever, and you were growing weaker by the day. What? Where did that news come from? That's what I'd like to know, because after that long sea voyage, I found you in fine health, Father. Was there something in Great Britain that you perceived might inconvenience me in some way? Or harm me? That's really the only explanation I can think of. Oh no, there's something else behind the scenes, isn't there? Dear me. Do you reserve your most cutting glares for your father, Susato? I'm sorry, my dear. I simply can't. Oh! Oh, let me go! Huh? Uh-oh, Manimono. Manimono-san?
So, one throw wasn't enough for you.
I've got one last thing to say before they take me away. Professor? Me? I know the truth. I know you had a hand in what went on. In that visiting student's fate. Huh? Oh, what? Who? What? Visiting student? Giselle Brett, you mean? No, not her. The student of Paul who left for Great Britain 8 months ago. Oh! Yeah, it was Kazuma. What? Student of law? He must mean Kazuma-sama. What are you talking about? What does any of this have to do with Kazuma-sama? Nobody here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know that the guy never made it to England, that he died on that steamship, and that he'll never... Uh-oh. Oh, shit! Oh! Oh, the judge! Well, I didn't expect to find him in here. What are you officers playing at? Terribly sorry, Your Excellency! Yeah, what did they do? I was coming to tell you that the rickshaw has arrived, Yujin, and that it's a good job I came by. Yes, thank you for dealing with him, and I'll be there shortly. Oh, Your Excellency. Ha 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 ha! The trial's over. I'm not Your Excellency anymore. Merely your father's friend, Seishiro Jigoku. And may I say that since I saw you last, you seem to have taken on a more dashing appearance. Susato. Yeah, he knew. I mean, there were a couple of slip-ups there. It'd be impossible for him to not know. Did you know all along? From the start of the trial? Ha 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 ha. A judge sees everything, Susato. I couldn't let you take the risk. If Seishiro here hadn't known, and then he'd recognized you. So I had a word in his ear beforehand, as an old friend. So, Seishiro, shall we? Yes, having ruled on that case, we now have various diplomatic issues to address. Before you go, Father. Sorry, my dear. We shall have to return to our earlier conversation at a later date. But well done again, both of you. You did admirably.
Oh, thank you very much.
What did you think of my Seishiro sling, eh? It's been a while since I sent a man flying like that. Ha 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 ha! Oh, this guy's just a guy! That's cool! Whatever could Father be hiding from me? About Giselle Brett, about Dr. Wilson, and now it seems, according to the reporter, about Kazuma-sama. Oh, Kazuma. I'm going to have to bring this up with Father sometime, when nobody else is around. Judicial Assistant Mikoltova-san Esquires, could I have a word? Oh, yes, of course, Soseki-san. What is it? I think perhaps it could be fate that we're meeting again like this now. You see, there's something I need to tell you. Oh? Oh? I believe that it may be related to the reason why your father summoned you back from England. Huh? Really? This I have to hear. Please, Soseki-san, tell me at once. I will! I will! As you know, my time in England was terrible. Cursed, I have no doubt. Such awful things I was embroiled in. Thank goodness locum student Naruhodo-san Esquire stepped in. After he secured my freedom, I couldn't wait to get on a ship back here to my homeland. Having arrived in Japan, I submitted a report about my experiences to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The next thing I knew, I had a visitor. It was your father, Professor Mikotoba. He wanted to ask me all sorts of things about my report. My father? He seemed to be especially taken with a particular part of the report. Anyway, he left eventually, having thoroughly quizzed me. But it was the very next day that he sent the telegram to you asking to be returned to Japan. What did you say to him, then? What was it, then? The particular part my father was interested in. I don't really know exactly. But do you remember them? Those two terrible cases I was caught up in. Of course, I could never forget. Your father seemed to concern himself mainly with the second case. The second one? You mean the one Mr. Sholmes forbade any of us to talk about in public? Oh, the Hound of the Baskervilles. Which is why the only case involving you that any member of the public is aware of is the first. Well, I don't care. I don't have to listen to what that dastardly detective says. Anyway, the point is, it seems that that case somehow holds the key to all these curious unanswered questions. And that's the case that we will solve in chapter 5, probably. That horrific, hideous, heinous case. The case of the haunted lodgings. Whoa. That case somehow caused my father to summon me urgently back to Japan. I thought that the whole business was over, but it seems I was wrong. Perhaps that was only the start. Perhaps the story is not yet told. We did it! Oh? Oh! Oh shit! What's up, Susato?
So, the mystery of that English woman's death is solved, thank goodness. And having stood in the Supreme Court now, I think I can comprehend a little better. How you must be feeling as you fight for people's freedom in a foreign land, Naruhodo-san.
Oh. There she is! She's
But
standing by
actually,
Kazuma.
I'm writing to you today because of another matter. I met Soseki-san and we talked about that second case he was involved in. Father has said nothing to me, but I feel certain of it. That case holds the key to some great unsolved mystery. My notes on the case should still be in the office, tucked away at the back of the shelves on the left. Perhaps you might like to look over them again. Today, for the first time this year, it feels as though summer has arrived. The sky is a brilliant blue.
Oh.
It makes me long to see you again.
Oh.
Yours, Susato.
Oh. Such a good ending. That was a really good first chapter. Oh, Susato's success! Yes, I would like to save. This is also where we're gonna be ending it for the day, because my throat can't take anymore. And also because this is the second chapter, so it'd probably be best if we started another day. But, oh, the members of the Clouded Kokoro! This is the case that Soseki was involved in, huh? Alright, that's all I'm gonna deal with for today. Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro. Great Pirate Soul. The Resolve of Ryusuke Naruhodo. Alright, thank you guys for stopping by! If you'd like, come join the Discord server. We have fun here, I swear. If you want to see my art or other people's art, come look at my Blue Sky or my Tumblr. My Twitter's completely dead. And if you want to watch past streams, come look at the YouTubes. But that's all I've got for you guys tonight. Tomorrow, we will be ranking in IDB. And then Saturday, we'll be continuing Gay People in Space, otherwise known as Heaven Will Be Mine. But that's all I've got for you guys tonight. We'll see you guys later. My throat is dying. Goodbye!